Stories don't just live on screens. They live inside us, stitched into memory, echoing long after the final scenes fade. I'm Mr. Unprofessional, and this is Echoes of the Silver Screen. Tonight we step into a world first imagined by others, and carried forward through voice, memory, and heart. This is Episode 5, Bridge to Terabithia, a kingdom built from dreams. A rope swings, a kingdom waits, and a boy learns that some bridges are built not with wooden nails, but with dreams, grief, and love. Welcome back. Let's begin. There was a boy who ran faster than anyone in the 5th grade. Not to win races, but to outrun the heavy stillness of the world he lived in. Jesse Aarons ran because for a few breathless seconds, the weight slipped from his shoulders. The muddy fields, the crowded kitchen, the long silences. They couldn't catch him. Not when he was moving. At home, he was just another pair of dirty sneakers under the table. At school, another forgotten hand half raised in a classroom, too tired to notice. He wasn't looking for magic. He wasn't even looking for friendship. He only wanted a crack somewhere, a way out, even for a little while. And then Leslie Burke. She didn't fit in. Not into school. Not into the town. Not into the heavy spaces people left between each other. She wore her laughter like armor. Her imagination like a sword. When she swung across the dry creek bed on a rope knotted with age, Jesse didn't just see a girl. He saw a doorway. It started small, a smile exchanged after a teacher's sharp word. A daring race down a worn dirt path. A glance when no one else seemed to hear the same joke. And then it became everything. They found the woods together, the thicket beyond the broken fence, the rope swing swaying like a portal to somewhere bigger. It wasn't just a place. It was Terabithia. Their kingdom. Here the giants of the world couldn't touch them. Here Jesse was a king, not just a boy with scuffed shoes and an invisible dream. Here Leslie was a queen, fierce and bright, her story spinning armor around them both. They built castles from fallen branches, forged swords from twisted sticks, crowned themselves under the oldest oak tree. Jesse knelt solemnly as Leslie, with a twig she named the Nightmaker, tapped his shoulders and declared him defender of the realm. They banished the Dark Master of the Creek after a 3-day campaign, fought with muddy shoes and breathless laughter. They invented holidays, the Day of Giants' Defeat, the Festival of Light Leaves, and celebrated them with secret rituals no one else could understand. When fear crept into Jesse's chest, when the real world felt too sharp, too fast, Leslie would grab his hand, tug him forward, and shout, "To Terabithia," as if inside those woods nothing could ever hurt them. Golden afternoons stitched themselves together like beads on a hidden necklace, each one shimmering with the belief that nothing could break what they had built. But even the fiercest magic cannot hold back every storm. The rope frayed. The creek, once shallow and patient, swells with unseen rain. And on a morning heavy with clouds, while Jessie was somewhere else, somewhere filled with paintings and possibilities, the kingdom fell silent. Leslie was gone. A misstep, a frayed rope, a moment that slipped too fast to catch. Leslie Burke, Queen of Terabithia, braver than storms, louder than fear, was gone. No giants to fight, no monsters to slay, no spells to cast. Only an empty swing, creaking in the cold wind. Only the sound of Jessie's heart breaking, too loud in the sudden quiet. He reached for her, out of habit, out of hope. But there was only space, only silence where her laughter used to live, only cold air where her hand once pulled him forward. Grief hollowed him out. It filled his chest with things too sharp to name. Terabithia stood still, the trees heavy with the weight of things unsaid. But grief, like magic, does not end. It transforms. With hands that shook, with a heart too young and too old all at once, Jessie built a bridge. Not just across the creek, but across the aching distance between what was and what could still be. Wood and nails, memories and love. Dreams he was afraid to dream alone, now carried carefully forward, step by step. And when he crossed it, he wasn't leaving her behind. He was carrying her with him. The trees whispered as he stepped onto the bank. But it wasn't only the wind. Through the mist and golden light, the creatures of Terabithia stirred. The giants, once fierce and terrible, lowered their massive heads in solemn tribute. The trolls, the wildcats, the invisible armies, they bowed low among the roots and the ridges, silent, unbreakable, in honor of their fallen queen. The very woods seemed to hold their breath, the kingdom remembering, and Jessie, defender of the realm, last night of light leaves, stood not alone, but among echoes and memories and promises that would never fade. Somewhere beyond the branches where the golden mist never lifts, Terabithia lived still. Not lost, not broken, simply changed and waiting. Thank you for crossing the bridge with me tonight. Some stories don't end when the last page turns. They stay with us. They echo. They become part of who we are. I'm Mr. Unprofessional, and this has been Echoes of the Silver Screen. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep remembering, and keep carrying the echoes forward.